Konsa to Arsenal transfer very close. Welcome to the Rokani Media Football. How are you guys? And where you're watching us from? Pogba contract has been terminated again due to injury. And Paul Pogba is one of those players that really went ahead to promise a lot and went up giving us few moments in there for you. So smash like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Rokani David is my name and hope you guys are really having pure fun wherever you are. So this is the channel that brings you your latest news and information as far as everything is really concerned, and just do the needful and really put in a very huge shift. After putting in a very huge shift, do the needful and see to it that you really see us hit the milestone of 31,000 subscribers. As it looks right now on our channel, we do have 30,524 subscribers, meaning that we are left with 76 subscribers to clinch, 30,600. So by the end of today, I know would have gone ahead to reach that milestone. And after subscribing, turn on the notification bell. Now, a player for Aston Villa who plays as a right back and a central defender has been linked to the club of Arsenal for some long time. And today, we obviously have a credible source from David Austin. And yesterday, when I was doing the story of Victor Osimhen, I came up and told you one thing, that don't despise, don't undermine these tier 4, tier 5, tier 3 sources, because most of the transfers that we've gone ahead to see have come in from these guys. And since June, Arsenal has been linked to Konsa, and very many outlets have gone ahead to obviously come up and really put out this story. Many haven't gone ahead to obviously give it attention, but as I told you yesterday, I'm doing the story of Victor Osimhen. I told you that these sources are always true. Now, it has come to materialization, and for everyone who went ahead and obviously put out the story of Ezri Konsa, that Arsenal is interested, obviously, he is really having what we call the last laugh. Today, David Austin was the first to break the story. He told us that Arsenal closing in on deal to sign Ezri Konsa from Aston Villa. 28 years of age defender, high on Arsenal's target list all summer, and work now advancing with Aston Villa to finalize after dialogue at ownership level to reduce value gap for the England international. Now, all along, the stories I've been seeing for Ezri Konsa were all about the amount of money that Konsa is supposed to be paid for by Arsenal. To see to it that he moves from Aston Villa to go to a side known as what? Arsenal. You understand? And to my understanding, if the story has reached this level that Arsenal really closing in, and the guy behind it, known as David Austin, is telling us that at the ownership level, the dialogue is on, and how they are working on how much the deal will cost. So this shows you that Arsenal has been doing a lot of background work that many of us haven't obviously gone ahead to do, to see to it that they really get in this guy known as Ezri Konsa. Now, Konsa is a 28-year-old player, and he plays for Aston Villa. He can play on the left side of the central defense and on the right side of the central defense. He can play as a right back too. And in most cases, by the way, for me, I first saw him play as a right back at Villa, and now he's being played as a right-sided centre back or left-sided centre back at Villa, meaning that he ticks all the boxes of a defender that Arsenal are looking in for, because we all know to it that Ben White is known in the programs of Mikel Arteta, and he has been linked to a team known as what? He has been linked to a team known as Everton. So I think no sooner Konsa comes in through than Ben White leaves the club of Arsenal. I think that's what exactly is happening in through at the club of Arsenal. So Arsenal are closing in on this deal of Konsa. From there, Fabrizio Romano went ahead to obviously tell us the following, that Konsa has agreed personal terms with Arsenal. He wants the move as negotiations are moving to the final stages. Konsa's camp informed Aston Villa his desire to join Arsenal project, as clubs are in contact to get the deal done soon. Top target all summer, now closer, as David Austin reported. Now, Konsa has agreed personal terms with Arsenal. Very, very, very important there for you. If you agree personal terms, that means the deal is obviously progressing on well. Now, let me tell you, Israel Konsa, right? Israel Konsa is an experienced player, and I think Arsenal has gone to the level of like, now we need in complete articles, players who are tested at all levels. If you remember England, I think Konsa almost started every England game in that central defense, because I think it was McGahey and Konsa starting for England in most of the games, and sometimes it was a man known as John Stones who came in through and obviously started. But when you look at Konsa, I think Arsenal being a conservative team under Mikel Arteta, though when they're going forward, they will look good in the attack. They are trying to build a norm of being one of the water-tightest defenses in the world. And they don't want to obviously have any loophole like they had one in the Champions League final. Because if they had Timber playing as the right back, there is no way PSG would have gone to get that penalty. And without that penalty, there is no way PSG would have gone ahead to score any goals in there for you. Then, if you look at Konsa, if he's playing in a final, he won't obviously feel any timid, because he has played in the UEFA Europa League final at Villa, and they won it. He's a winner. Semi-finals of the World Cup, and he went ahead obviously faced the likes of Kylian Mbappé in the third place playoff, and they really looked very, very, very good. So he's this kind of player who comes in through at a club of Arsenal with huge experience, and he, at the age of 28, sees this as a blessing in disguise to obviously, or he sees it as a blessing in disguise. He sees it as a one-time opportunity to clinch a Premier League title, as Arsenal are the defending champions. And I don't believe that there is any way we will see this guy not wanting to obviously join the team of Arsenal. That's why they're telling you he has agreed personal terms and the deal is at its final stages. That's what we've gone ahead to hear from a man known as David Austin, briefing us about the guy known as Konsa. Fabrizio Romano also coming in through with the same intel, confirming that the deal is at final stages. Now, we do have Jacobs Ben. Jacobs Ben has come up and told us the following that. Why Baleba? No need for Baleba. He's telling us that Arsenal confident on agreeing a fee to sign Aston Villa defender Konsa. Club-to-club talks now advanced, but Gulf in valuation earlier this summer as Villa asked for £60 million plus, and Arsenal bid £30 million. But parties expected to reach agreement. Konsa, always the top target, despite interest in Jarell Quanch and Jacob Ramon, plus John Stones prior to his move to Inter Milan. So, Arsenal are confident of a deal of Konsa, that it's now reaching the levels of completion. And if I told you an Arsenal fan, you obviously want at least to have an elite right back as your backup in there for you to come in through and do the job. And secondly, one thing that people are not really looking at is Konsa's height. Konsa is 1.83, meaning that he really has the aerial threat. And last season, he played 34 games for Aston Villa, 0 goals and 1 assist in the view, but he's also deadly when it comes to set pieces. And I tell you, Arsenal hasn't gone ahead to obviously drop its set piece goal scoring champions, because when you talk about teams that are really deadly in scoring set pieces, Arsenal is among. And the other big factor you need to know about this guy is that he has played in Champions League games, and in the season of 2024 2025, where Aston Villa, I think, was knocked out by PSG, this guy came up and really featured in there for you. And when PSG came at their stadium, they beat it by 3-2. You remember that very well. So that's all about the game of football. He has won a UEFA Europa League, and he has a lot to himself. Same as a man known as, what's his name? Bruno Guimaraes. They are all turning 28. Sorry, they're all turning 29 in a nick of time. Konsa, October, that's when he's turning 29, and the other guy is turning 29 when it comes to, I think it's also October or December, one of those. But it shows you that those additions are obviously going to be important. And a 4-year contract, I think, will be given to him because personal terms are going to be agreed. And I think Arsenal are willing to say to it that they really put in a lot onto this deal. So that's all about Konsa. If there is any further developments, I'll come up here and obviously let you know about Konsa's deal to the club of Arsenal. But it's close. It's closing in. And here we go. Might be dropped earlier this evening. That is it. Let's go to Paul-Ebile Pogba. Now, a man from retirement coming to obviously play at a club known as Monaco. His contract has been terminated, and Paul Pogba leaves AS Monaco by terminating the contract mutually, and he's now available as free agent. MLS and Saudi Pro clubs already called in recent weeks with decision to follow next. And if I tell him Paul-Ebile Pogba, it's money-making time. He has to admit, because at the age of, is he now 35? At the age of 35, with him being an injury-prone player, no proper team can obviously risk him because he's 33 years of age. And when you look at Paul Pogba, at 33 years of age, he can make a lot of money. Because when you look at his net worth, 2026, Paul-Ebile Pogba is worth 125 million euros. As reported by a Forbes. So that means Paul Pogba can sign a deal that can see him earn thrice that amount of money. He's a very big brand, and if it is to go to the Saudi Pro League, he's gonna be making a lot of money. You get? But I think if I'm Paul-Ebile Pogba, I would rather go to a side known as the MLS. You understand? And they'll give him a lot of money. You see how Messi elevated to becoming a billionaire. You get? They'll offer him a lot of money, and I think he'll obviously promote that. But I think it depends who puts in the biggest money, because the highest bidder takes it all always. You understand? The highest bidder has always gone ahead to obviously take it in. So that is it for the side of Paul-Ebile Pogba, and it's going to be leaving to a team in the Saudi Pro League or MLS. But I don't feel sorry for him. He had all the opportunity, and having all the opportunity, he ended up not doing the due diligence of really putting out enough evidence to say to it that the world really recognizes him as one of those players that has gone ahead to put in a very huge shift already. So Paul-Ebile Pogba is one of those that I tell you is obviously gonna regret for having not utilized his talent very well. If he really did what he had to do, I think he would have gone ahead to do the needful. In 2026, the guy signed a contract when he's earning £300,000 a week at Man United, and I think by the time he was the highest paid player in the Premier League. Do you know what that means? He was a special talent and no one doubted him, but his lifestyle went ahead to obviously stop him from obviously being that baller that he would have gone ahead to be. He never rested enough, and this goes all out to the players in the world that please, when you get an opportunity like that, because football is limited. Football is not like music. At 50 years of age, a musician will still perform. He can release a hit song. We've seen artists at that age releasing hit songs. But right now, as it stands, the side of Paul Pogba will regret for the rest of their lives. But indeed, he has the money, and it's now time to make money. Money-making time. And I've seen people sign deals and that are really huge. And for Paul Pogba, I know he can be given like $500,000 a week in the Saudi Pro League. That is it. If he can get in $2 million, per a month, those are $24 million a year. You get? And when he goes to the Pro League or the MLS, he'll get gigs, like influential gigs that will see him be that player that will be rich. And at the end of that contract, I think he'll earn a lot of money in there for you. So guys, thank you very much for watching through. I call upon for your reactions into Ezri Konsa to Arsenal transfer very close. And what do you make about Paul Pogba contract terminated? Rokani David signs out in here onto a beautiful channel as the Rokani Media Football. I'm out. Bye-bye. See you later and good evening.